All right, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors winning their first ever NBA championship over the Golden State Warriors in 6 games of this year's NBA Finals. Kawhi Leonard is the NBA Finals MVP. Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, Norman Powell, Kyle Lowry, and the rest of the crew did their thing. I'm happy for the Toronto Raptors fans. And I know Drake is just ridiculously happy and excited. And I know that he's in the studios right now recording his next album dedicating to the Toronto Raptors winning the NBA title. Oh my goodness. As for the Golden State Warriors, man, tough break, man. I had them win it all, especially in the 7 games. If they were in full strength, I know they would win it all, but the injuries completely derailed their chances for a three-peat. Kevin Durant tore Achilles. Klay Thompson tore his ACL in his left knee. I mean, my goodness, it's crazy. So, everybody moved on from the Toronto Raptors winning it all to the NBA draft and NBA final. I mean, free agency, excuse me. Shoot, more people were excited about that. And the Houston Rockets, quote-unquote, turmoil, drama with that organization than the Toronto Raptors winning it all. So it's crazy. Sad at the same time. Speaking of pitiful and sad, people are going in on the U.S. women's national soccer team, running up the scoreboard, how they celebrated against Thailand, the first game of the World Cup tournament in France. I felt that after scoring 10 goals, then it came 11, 12, and 13, and they, their celebrations was a little bit over the top, and I felt that they need to pump the brakes just a little bit, just a tiny bit, but the way people are talking and trashing them, it's like, yo, calm down. It is not the end of the world. I mean, I don't remember men getting trashed like that. I don't care if it's soccer, soccer or basketball, softball. It doesn't matter. Well, they should be classy, blah, 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 blah. Well, act classy, excuse me. It's a kid sport. You're trying to win at any cost. Plus, we've seen Thailand ran up the scoreboard on other opponents. No one crushed them for it. We've seen Canada ran up the scoreboard against Cuba last year's tournament. It wasn't World Cup. It was another tournament. So, just pump the brakes. Everybody who are killing them, pump the brakes, chill out, get a life. Do that. It's not that big of a deal. We should be celebrating the fact that United States women's soccer team doing their thing. Shoot. They're the ones carrying the game of soccer on their backs while the men is just sitting at home chilling, drinking beers because they can't get into a tournament because they continuously to lose. Bunch of punks. Sorry. All right. NFL predictions. I wasn't going to do it anymore. I'm going to do it one time and one time only. Well, it's going to be the last time. I have the Steelers, Patriots, Broncos, and the Colts as division winners. I have the Jaguars and Texans. I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs getting back to the playoffs. I just really don't. The only way that happens is if the AFC West division just completely have a down year and they sneak in by accident. NFC, I have the Cowboys, the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Falcons. And for the division winners of the NFC, now I have the wild card teams. I have the Saints, man, Carolina Panthers, barely. I don't believe in the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe in other teams. I just don't, The NFC South is going to be a straight up black and blue dogfight of a division. It's going to be crazy in 2019 season. They better prove me wrong that they're going to get in the playoffs and do some things. Otherwise, I'm going to go off again, and it won't be pretty. Now, as far as anime, My Hero Academia Season 4 will premiere on October 12th. I can't wait. As for Boruto anime, everybody is they're disappointed. They're disgusted what they're seeing. I've heard some people, they have already dropped the anime, read the manga, and others have basically dropped all of it altogether for the fact it's just not for them, or it's boring, all the above. They rather remember Naruto, they rather have good memories of Naruto and let it be ruined by, continuing to support Boruto. For me, I'm reading the manga. I'm still waiting for a new chapter. As for the anime, oh my goodness, it feels more like a filler than the main canon to me. I still stand by what I said. It's just, man, it is dragging its feet. Whatever. Video games. The only games I'm looking forward to this year: Wolfenstein Youngblood, Control, that's supposed to come out in 2 months, and last but not least, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They need to do something about the graphics. They're just awful, especially the character models. Man, they look like they're from the PlayStation 2. That is just extraordinary awful. Don't get me started with the Woonkies. And next year's game, Watch Dogs Legion, I'm looking forward to that. You get to play as anybody. Can't wait to play Grandma Ellen. She cracked me up several times. I just want to see if the driving mechanics continue to improve and be the best. I just want to see if Watch Dogs Legion turns out to be the best game in the franchise, or it's going to be worse than Watch Dogs 1. So far, Watch Dogs 2 is the best in my opinion. Now, as for CP 2077 coming out next year on April 16th, I'm not sold on it for the things that I'm seeing and hearing. It feels more like people are talking about the graphics, attention to detail, the voice acting, Keanu Reeves, the story, and all the other stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, what about the gameplay? What about, is there going to be a microtransactions, loot boxes, DLC, season pass, or how long this game is going to take to, how long is it going to take to be completed? Is it going to be over 100 hours? Is it going to be like 90, 80, 70 hours? What? Give me something. Excuse me. And there's been some controversy with the game for what I've heard, the whole potential being a online multiplayer mode, which I don't know how that's going to work. Feels more like a tacked on than anything else. And the whole, you can't play as a predominantly white person when you're trying to create a character or whatever. It sounds more like Rage 2-ish if you think about it. I'm glad they went in the route like Mass Effect Trilogy, where you get to play as a black person or Asian or Hispanic or a female. I don't care. As long as you're playing as the character you create, that's all that counts. But like I said, I'm not totally sold on Cyberpunk 2077 yet. I need to see more. So, as far as Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, is supposed to come out next month exclusively for Nintendo Switch. I know it's going to be a wild, pretty cool game. I wish it came out on all platforms instead of just one platform, one gaming console, but Who knows? It may do that in the future. Shoot, the characters in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order, looks a hell lot better than the Square Enix Crystal Dynamics Marvel's Adventures. Wow, everybody is just absolutely going all the way in. Because the character models are just awful. The character design is awful. And this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, this game sucks. I'm like, damn, the gaming community is just full of negativity, aren't they? I mean, the game is not even out yet. And y'all motherfuckers already saying, oh, this game sucks. Did you play the game? I remember, no. Sit down and be quiet. Oh, my goodness. Who knows? The developers may change it. They did say they won't change it despite the backlash from the fan base on the community. I feel that they need to, change just a little bit, but not go over the top to the point where it looks like, it has to be like a Hollywood counterpart. They shouldn't do that. That's when you caving in to satisfy them, the crybabies, the elitists. But no one complained about the Marvel Spider-Man. So why are you complaining about Marvel's Adventures? That's my question to y'all. Now, Alpha Protocol, it came out June 1st of 2010. June 1st, 2010, excuse me. And the reviews were less than stellar, and I got a chance to play it. I beat the game twice. The story, voice acting, sounds, the dialogue tree, love interest with different women, and the fact that it's a spy RPG, it's awesome. Those are my pluses, but the minus, the gameplay is the biggest issue I have. I mean, the shooting, the combat is clunky. The mini games will frustrate you to no end because you have to be precise. You have to be perfect in order to not set the alarms. The game froze on me, crashed on me multiple times. I lost count after 10. And there are tons of bugs and glitches and questionable stealth. I mean, this game is just downright bad. That's my verdict. It's a bad game. If Alpha Protocol ever comes out, it's a sequel, Obsidian Entertainment comes out with a sequel of that game, the gameplay better be in its top priority. Because it is just downright awful. So, that's all I got. What's your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? And, before I go, everybody in the sports world, especially on Twitter, crushing Ryan Hollins for his comments. LeBron James, the best player of all time. Golden State Warriors will smoke, demolish, destroy the 1990 Chicago Bulls without breaking a sweat. Yeah, unless it's NBA 2K or NBA Live video game. All I gotta say is this: let the man have his opinion. Just let him have it. That's how I see that. Now, the other side, this is why people look at ESPN sideways and just keep it moving. Because they'll just hire anybody. And then there's a reason why it's called First Take. Because, they give out stupidly hot takes to the point it makes you scratch your head like, what in the world are they talking about? If you want to talk about hot takes, Ryan Hollins gave you one. And it was the most awful hot take I ever heard in my life. It makes Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman's takes look the greatest or sound the greatest of all time. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. So, it's whatever. I'm out. What's your thoughts?